Amp Unit, where the fuck you at? Here, bitch! What's up, Amp Unit, man? It's the Amplified Man. This is an early Friday morning impromptu vid, but while I'll have about a half an hour-ish, give or take, I decided to make this vid for you guys before I step away for the entire weekend. And let's talk some pro wrestling, some of the hottest news, more specifically toward WWE. And I want to jump right into it because I don't have a lot of time. And I want to discuss Vince McMahon first. And all these reports that, especially in the last couple of weeks, he's been showing up late to the venue. This latest report giving a specific time of 3:30 p.m. and totally rewriting the scripts. Now, do I believe that's happening? Absolutely. That's what Vince McMahon has been doing for the last couple of years, changing his mind every minute of every day. So I absolutely believe he's making all these changes for Raw hours before the program. Do I believe it's just the last couple of weeks? Absolutely not. This is what Vince McMahon has been doing ever since the announcement of the XFL. If you look at it, guys, the last 5 to 10 years have pretty much been horrid with this product. But the last couple of years especially, and that matches up perfectly with the XFL timetable and the inception, the reincarnation, if you will, of the XFL. So this is what Vince McMahon, this has been his main focal point the last couple of years. And it's no wonder why the WWE product has been going off the rails the last couple of years. This is like the newborn that comes into a family, right? The firstborn was obviously the first kid that you fucking created. He was getting all your attention. But then the newborn comes. You have a new kid. He's the youngest now, and he's getting all the attention. And now your eldest, he's going to be wanting that attention again. What about me? I'm still your kid. But he's not getting the same attention and affection as the newborn, the younger child that just came into the family. Well, that's the XFL now. We all just got to deal with that shit now. But how can we make WWE fucking great again? That's the fucking question. Stephanie McMahon isn't helping because she's just trying to put WWE on this pedestal for charities and for the mainstream media, and so WWE can look good and put on this fucking plastic image. Triple H, we love the fucking motherfucker and what he's doing with it, NXT, but that's what his main focus is on, NXT. He doesn't care what Vince is doing with WWE. The more that sinks, the more Triple H looks like a fucking god when he finally takes over. That's the truth. So that's why this is happening for the last several years, guys. Vince is making all these changes. Could these reports be very accurate and it's getting even worse? Absolutely, it could be happening. Till when, though? Till it finally hits rock bottom, which is not too far off. The ratings have took the biggest dip they've ever taken. They hit their recent the biggest low in the history of Monday Night Raw they just recently hit. We just saw their crowd in Houston, Texas for a Monday Night Raw. Over a quarter of that arena, nobody showed up. That's Houston, Texas for a Raw. If that's not rock bottom, I don't know if I want to see what is. But unfortunately, I think we're all going to see what it is in the next few months. And maybe Fox is the best thing to happen to WWE because maybe they can light some electricity under their ass. Give them that boot in their ass the way they fucking need it. So they shoot to start getting some creativity in them again. Start getting some focal point back on the main product of WWE. And let's not just put everything, all of our eggs into the basket of XFL or NXT or the mainstream media and how WWE is perceived. Let's start making the product great again. Otherwise, there won't be a product for the mainstream media to view as something prestigious. There's not going to be a platform to promote your XFL. NXT won't have a leg to stand on if WWE is going toward a slow fucking death. Or at this point, a fast death. NXT is alive because of WWE. I don't know where all this goes. But I know that this is a tragic train wreck right now. And the reports now that Vince McMahon more than ever is making all these changes, you can look at it as, yup, that sounds like Vince. Or you can also look at it like, this really is not good, man. Everybody now is running around with their fucking heads cut off. If you have 65 writers, and Vince is just fucking saying fuck you to all of them every week now, which I don't blame him because the writers haven't given us any shit in 5 to 10 years. But this is not a good situation. And this is why I tell you guys, before you fantasy book somebody's journey and path to WrestleMania like a Becky Lynch, not so fast. You may just be putting your getting your high hopes up really too high. Because I don't know if Vince can live up to those expectations. I doubt it very much. Knowing him, we'll be on that path. Becky will drop the strap at TLC. Everyone's like, oh, getting all excited. Oh, Becky's gonna win the Rumble. All of a sudden, Becky wins the Rumble, and you're like, oh my God, this is huge. And all of a sudden, he throws Charlotte Flair in there. It somehow becomes a triple threat, right? Becky has a match at fucking the pay-per-view after the Rumble, and if Charlotte wins and she's added, they'll do some fucking schmazzery. Watch it be a Fatal 4. Nia's in there. And you guys are like, what? This doesn't even make sense. I thought we were going to get Ronda and Becky. Everything was leading perfectly to WrestleMania. Nope. Now you got a Fatal 4 somehow. Or a triple threat. Or, Vince will do this type of shit, man. Or he'll figure out a way to do Ronda and Charlotte at Mania for the strap. And then you have Becky and Nia somehow. SmackDown and Raw. Because in Vince's mind, Nia Jax and Becky now have a big feud. And the fans are like, no, we wanted Ronda and Becky. Don't fantasy book a half a year in advance. All you need to worry about now is making characters fucking thrive. Creating new stars. If you love Becky Lynch, great. Have her fucking winning now. Have her kicking ass now. Have her character fucking be badass. Because even somebody like Lynch, who I said in yesterday's video, man, her momentum's going downwards already. I don't even know if she can afford a loss right now at TLC. And then on top of that, her booking is fucking horrible. But you guys are all giddy on this fucking fantasy booking for WrestleMania. Not just with Becky Lynch or the females. You're fantasy booking everybody for Mania already. What about, don't let Vince off the hook that easy. Concentrate on today in holding Vince and the WWE accountable for their shitty booking and shitty creativity. In the lack of creating superstars. Because if you look on this roster, there's no larger-than-life superstars right now. Daniel Bryan isn't. AJ Styles isn't. Seth Rollins isn't. Dean Ambrose isn't. Braun Strowman definitely isn't with his 50-50 booking. Heel, face, up, down booking. Creativity for 1 month, absolute shit for another month. You're not creating stars. Nobody, all of these people that I just named could have been, but they're not booked as such. So now we're stuck with no larger-than-life superstars. And that brings me into the Queen of the Ring. That's right, guys. There is word that WWE is adding another special event / pay-per-view next year in 2019 called the Queen of the Ring. It's going to be like the King of the Ring, but for the females. Now, I doubt very much it'll be a secondary pay-per-view. I bet you they're going to replace Evolution with Queen of the Ring, if this is indeed true or comes to fruition. But these are my issues with the Queen of the Ring, guys. This is going to hurt. You guys know on this channel, we spend a lot of time on the females. We are totally behind the evolution of the females. We are totally behind my favorite personally, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Ember Moon, Asuka, the Io Shirai's and the Kairi Sanes down in NXT, the Bianca Blairs, Evilise over in fucking Lucha Underground, all of this shit, guys. Females that are not even under the WWE umbrella. And I am behind these females 110%. Beyond. But the truth is, now that we have researched facts, the truth is the women are actually not bringing in a dime for this fucking company. They're not bringing in those coins. They're not translating into dollars. They're not translating into asses and seats. We saw that with Evolution, probably on the biggest scale that you could have when they announced these matches at Ronda, and they're bringing back Nikki Bella for the mainstream media fans, and they're bringing in Trish and Lita and all this shit. And guess what, guys? They still had a hard time filling that arena as much as they did. The network subscription buys, nowhere near what they were hoping for. When you add on top of that the ratings, when they put a tag match like this past Monday, for instance, Ronda Rousey, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, Tamina, the females, they're putting them in the main event, and they're drawing the lowest fucking ratings possible. BC, you can't blame that just on the females. Absolutely correct, guys. That is a product within the product. Your product of your environment is the old saying, right? Well, the females are just also a part of just a shitty program. So they are just a piece of the puzzle. Absolutely, the entirety of Monday Night Raw, the male storylines and lack thereof included, is why Raw is pulling in these low numbers, is why the attendance is down. There's no question you can't put the blame solely on the females. My point is, this whole past year, the focus has been on the females, and unfortunately the research has shown they do not draw. I know that's hard to take. This isn't me telling you that just in my fucking opinion, guys. I would never say that. I love Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, Naomi, all my females, man. Even fucking Carmella, which a lot of people like to shit on. Dance break! Man, I wish the females were thriving in bringing in those numbers so Vince could see if you give them more of the time of day, more creativity. I don't even want to say more. It's barely like they get any right now, just like the men. But my point is, when Vince gives them those stages, the numbers are not showing up. They're not producing the numbers. So in 2019, do we put even more focus on just the females over the men? Give them the main event at WrestleMania. Give them Queen of the Ring. Give them Evolution 2. Let's make it a second fucking all-women's pay-per-view. Do we do that when the product that is already suffering is suffering even more when you're putting the females in those spots? Again, not me saying it, guys, or I am the middleman, I am saying it, but these are the researched facts. It pains me, trust me. If it's hard for you to hear that, it pains me to say it. But I've done my research, unfortunately. I probably shouldn't have in this subject. The numbers are showing that when the females are given those high spots, the ratings are actually not showing up. The attendance is not, the ante's not being upped. They're not showing up, guys. Again, you can't just blame the females, but my point is, with the focus on the females in 2018 more than it ever has been, the ratings in the attendance has dropped more than ever. Everybody's to blame, no doubt, not just the females. I get it before you start typing. BC, it ain't just the but, again, I'll say this for the millionth time. Those were the participants, the players in the game that were getting the focus. And the ratings dipped. The attendance dipped. So do you put even more focus when maybe you have to kind of go back to the men more? Maybe you have to concentrate on the men before we can really focal point the women again. Obviously, you give them main events. You could keep a pay-per-view a year for them as well. I'm on board. It's just, wow, before we start talking main event at WrestleMania, let's add another pay-per-view, Queen of the Ring. Before we start doing all this shit, guys, we already have a dying product, and the females are not drawing a fucking dime. Vince needs to hold on for a second and go, maybe we should start creating larger-than-life men first, because your audience is still mostly fucking male who want the fucking men to collide and beat the shit out of each other. So before we just totally shift the company into female-centric, let's make the fucking men men again. Let's create superstars. And at the same time, if you're doing it correctly, you can create female superstars and create their storylines. And then the product would thrive. So then you could throw the women out there in a main event and they'll draw numbers. You could have an all-women's pay-per-view and they'll draw an attendance record. Because you would have done it the right way. Instead, you had a product that was already dying. You decided to put the focus solely on the fucking females in 2018 when you already had a dying product. They didn't draw any asses to the seats. They didn't draw you any extra revenue. It's almost like Vince wants to sabotage the females. Let's give them all the fucking time of day. We'll give them a year, 2 years, and everybody will see that they didn't draw me shit. Not saying that's what he's doing, but it's almost like, he keeps this shit up when he knows they're not drawing. He knows they're not bringing in attendance numbers. Boggles my fucking mind. It's almost like when he saw that the attendance was not where he wanted at Evolution, he gave up on Evolution. And he just started talking about Crown Jewel or Super Showdown, one of those fucking Saudi Arabia shows. or Australia. He started talking about that a lot more when he saw that a lot of people did not buy those tickets up front. When they announced Evolution and Trish and Nikki Bella and Ronda was going to wrestle, and nobody was buying those tickets. It's almost like Vince gave up right there. So it's sad to see, man, because these females are going out there more than ever and trying to give it their all. You know, that's part Vince to blame, part creativity in the booking department and the writers. But it goes to show you that as much as like Becky Lynch, we could say she's the hottest thing in wrestling right now. Yeah, but it doesn't translate. When you put something like Becky Lynch and whoever, Ronda in the main event of WrestleMania, guys, who is it captivating? The diehards are already going to watch WrestleMania. Do you think casuals are going to go, wow, Ronda's in the main event at WrestleMania? People that don't watch pro wrestling? Gotta watch it. Who? Becky who? Who cares? I'm going to order $60 of WWE WrestleMania. No. Females aren't drawing that. You got to have more. Bring more to the table. Charlotte and Becky at WrestleMania? Wow, got to watch it. Huh? No, I don't watch pro wrestling, but I'm going to order this for $65, $70. Tell you that much. Becky Flint, who is it? Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, right? Yeah, I'm going to watch that. That's your main event. It sounds cute and cuddly when we say it. The women main eventing a WrestleMania. And we just want to see it in our lifetime. It's like some people wanted to see a female president. They didn't even care that it was fucking Hillary Clinton. They didn't give a fuck how corrupt. They just wanted to see a female president. It's just that simple. They didn't give a fuck who it was. They were thinking totally outside the fucking box in a non-fucking good way, I can assure you. And that's not a political fucking belief, too. I'm not saying fucking Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, one's better than the other. This isn't political. I'm just saying people didn't give a fuck what Hillary Clinton has done in the past or was going to do. They just wanted her because she was a female. Well, that's the same thing with WrestleMania's main event. They don't give a fuck who. They prefer it to be Ronda and Becky right now, but they want females in the main event at WrestleMania. Not thinking, what is that going to really draw? What is that? You think they're going to keep Ronda and Becky hot for the next 5 months? Please, that peak was coming into Survivor Series. That Ronda and Becky feud was at its peak at Survivor Series. Booking cannot be... You can't give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to create some hot shit for 5 months between Becky and Ronda Rousey. It's not going to happen. And you want to thrust that into a main event just because it's two females. So all this comes back to the Queen of the Ring. Now that I dropped all those facts that a lot of people probably didn't want to hear, but again, they are facts, guys. Unfortunately, I did my research, man. The numbers are not pretty when it comes to females in those top spots. Just not. And you would think they would be because they're some of the hottest topics on social media. They're the highlights of these videos oftentimes, but it doesn't translate for some reason in dollars and in asses and seats. I don't know, man. I'm just a messenger in this situation. But back to the Queen of the Ring. Man, I don't like tournaments anyway, personally. I never even liked the King of the Ring. Stone Cold was going to say that no matter what. Austin 316 says, I just whipped your fucking ass. If they set up a feud with him and Jake Roberts. I didn't need to see a whole fucking tournament to have that outcome. So the biggest thing from that King of the Ring was just Stone Cold saying something. That wasn't even the fucking tournament. We don't remember shit from that tournament. But some people like pro wrestling tournaments. To me, it's a scripted tournament. What do I need to know? Some dipshit writer sits down for 5 minutes, writes out the whole tournament, and they go out, and we're supposed to believe that this is something like the NFL or the NBA or MLB in a postseason playoff. It's a scripted tournament. Wrestling is based on larger-than-life characters and intense storylines and dynamic feuds, and we have to see an ultimate payoff at a pay-per-view. That's what pro wrestling is based on. Good guy, bad guy, and a beef to settle. Scripted tournaments do nothing for me. We go through all this bullshit. Sometimes all in one night takes 3 fucking hours. Sometimes it's weeks long. We go through all this bullshit to find out who a fucking scripted winning best in the world is. No thank you. But some people like pro wrestling tournaments. Okay, well, here's another one for you. Queen of the Ring might be a real thing in 2019. If that's the case, they gotta bring back the King of the Ring, obviously. So, yay! This is gonna be exciting if you're the Amplified Man. I hate tournaments. I'm getting 2 of them next year. King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. Some dipshit writer will sit down, and he'll create his version of what a king and a queen is. But if that's gonna be a special event pay-per-view, I don't know what stock is going to be in that. Because now you took away the beef. Now you took away any feud that any of these females have, and now you're just trying to create who's the best out of all the females. We already know Vince McMahon will give that to probably Nia fucking Jax. Or knowing Vince, he'll troll everybody and give it to Tamina Snuka. She'll be the Queen of the Ring. My fear is this. What is that going to do for attendance? What is that going to do for ratings leading up to the Queen of the Ring? With the creativity and the bullshit booking they have now, don't be surprised if the ratings drop lower. Don't be surprised that at that event, 25% of the crowd never shows up. Don't be surprised. I ain't player hating. I love the fucking females in this division, in all of pro wrestling. But they're not doing it correctly, just like they're not doing the men correctly. The whole product they're not doing correctly right now. And unfortunately, when it's all said and done, it looks like the females are going to be all collectively the fall guy. That's bullshit. You're going to give the females the platform, give them something to work with. Again, it's almost like they're being set up for failure, man. It's really fucking weird. Vince sees the numbers and he refuses to put the actual female wrestlers in there in dynamic matches. He sees the numbers dwindling and he's throwing in Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. And then he sees the ratings dip even lower. And then next week you'll see Nia and Tamina again. I don't know if that's an accurate reflection on the WWE female division right now. It's almost like they're being set up, man. It's really odd. I don't know. And that leads me into Becky Lynch. Sticking with the females. Reports that she is not fully cleared. I told you that from day one. Now these reports are coming out with it. I already told you that was the case. I have people down at the Performance Center that tell me exactly who's cleared and who's not. That's how I knew Alexa Bliss wasn't fully yet. That's how I knew Becky Lynch was not yet. So no, Becky Lynch, she passed those fucking concussion protocol tests, but she wasn't cleared for action, and that's why Asuka was brought into this match. I tried to tell you guys that, and it always comes around to the Amplified Man was correct. Always. Even when you guys listen to me and you think it's so far-fetched, what happens? It always ends up I'm right. Asuka was placed in this match because Becky Lynch, at that point, wasn't even cleared for her concussion protocol. So Vince protected his ass. Asuka was basically the fall guy here, even if she wasn't eating a pin or taking a submission, because this will most likely be the ladder match, the traditional TLC match, because there's a title on the line. But Asuka will still going in there to be the safety net. She's the safety net. If Becky can't really go full throttle, or shit, if Becky can't compete at all, at least it's 2/3 of the advertisement. And Asuka is at least in there. Never once do I think Vince McMahon woke up one morning and goes, Asuka, that's it. Why do we have her dwindling with a tag team with Naomi? She should be fucking going for the strap. That was never Vince's fucking wake up moment. Trust me. Asuka could very well win the title at TLC. Things change all the time. But I believe this is Charlotte's title to win if it's going to change hands. I would keep it on Becky Lynch. Don't worry about setting up something with Ronda. The only way is the Rumble, BC. Please. Vince McMahon could come up with any fucking thing in the world to make Ronda and Becky happen whenever he wants. He doesn't need Royal Rumble. Vince doesn't care if it's believable, realistic, or not. He can find a way to do such. Right now, you gotta be concerned with Becky keeping her momentum. But that's why Asuka was brought in this match. And again, I was right. She was put in this match when we found out from the beginning Becky Lynch was not only not cleared for wrestling, but she still was not passing her concussion protocol. Now she passed that finally, but she's still not cleared. Well, shit, we're only 1 week away from the event. Now you see what I mean. Asuka was sent in there as the safety net, and probably when it's all said and done, the fall guy. She won't be capturing the strap. She'll be doing the blunt of the work. She'll be the workhorse in there. Still, people want Becky Lynch in the main event of WrestleMania. Again, focus on what she can do to better her character. Make that character shine more brighter than ever before and raise the stakes on your momentum higher than ever before. Because if your momentum's going down, 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 more and more fans are starting to not cheer for you as much. I don't care if her VIP signing sold out in 90 seconds. Listen to what's happening on TV. Watch the storylines that they're giving her. When Charlotte Flair tells her to shut up and she just shuts up and doesn't say anything back. Little things like that are going to ruin her. Booking her to just watch the match this past Tuesday instead of being on commentary and lighting that fucking microphone on fire. Little things like that, problems like that. Fucking Becky hugging Charlotte Flair. Those little things add up. And before you know it, she's not as hot as she once was, and you guys want her to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Well, not if her character isn't fucking hot. You want Ronda Rousey to carry that shit? This isn't the UFC. UFC, you can put Ronda Rousey in the main event and we're gonna buy that shit. WWE's a different beast. Even Ronda Rousey has shown you she's not upping the ratings and she's not putting the asses in seats like they thought. She brings name recognition, but just like every other female, she's not bringing in those asses. That's a problem. So you want to add them into the Queen of the Ring, you want to add them into the main event at WrestleMania, you want to add a third all-women's pay-per-view, that's fucking glorious. For you, how about you just concentrate on giving Sasha Banks a good storyline? Give Ember Moon the time of day. Tell us why Naomi is stuck in a fucking tag team. Why is Asuka being booked and treated the way she's been? Answer those questions before you start giving me more pay-per-views with them. Or half of them won't even be in the pay-per-view and the other half will be in some nonchalant, fucking insignificant, bullshit, nonsensical, used way. I don't need more of something. I need you to do what we have now correctly. Is that so hard to ask? And if you do that shit correctly and you actually build superstars, then the events will mean that much more. Stop trying to do the first evers. Right now, I feel like we're just trying to rush everything into the first ever. The first ever this, the first ever that. Now's the time. First ever women's main event at WrestleMania. Come on, man. Create people first. You started it with Becky through tragedy. She got fucking knocked out by fucking Nia Jax's carelessness. And then through bad booking and bad decisions by Becky when she said, okay, I'll shut up for you, Charlotte. Through all of that together, the momentum stopped. So you can't be talking about a main event 5 months from now when somebody's momentum is already fucking dwindling. Let's concentrate on building the characters up. And the men, even though this video has been more centric around the females, because that's where the news really is right now, the men need to do the same. Build them up character-wise. Why do we have no larger-than-life characters right now? Why? It is unacceptable when you have 3 hours every Monday and 2 hours every fucking Tuesday. Nobody is larger than life. You come to my city, in New York City, and you tell me Daniel Bryan's headlining. I'm like, cool. Larger than life right now? No. Maybe during the Yes movement, he was riding high. AJ Styles? No, we love him, but is that a reason enough to make me buy a fucking ticket? No. Braun Strowman? Seth Rollins? Dean Ambrose? Roman Reigns? No. Back in the day, you told me Stone Cold was hitting the city. One name. Take my money. The Rock's coming, Triple H, Undertaker, take my money. You don't have that one person anymore. And I just mean one. Back in the day, you had multiple. Even before the Attitude Era. You had Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, fucking Roddy Piper. These are names you heard were coming to your city. You're forking over your fucking money. You had to be there. Attitude Era, you had obviously Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mick Foley, all of them at once. This era has nobody. They all seem like mid-carders because they're being booked as such. I know this was all hard to take in, guys. These are the wrestlers we love, male and female. We love, they're our fucking superheroes. BC, I don't want to hear they're not drawing dimes. I don't want to hear this and that and they shouldn't be in main events. I'm just saying, what happened to building characters? If you take one thing away from this video, it's what happened to building larger-than-life characters that we give a fuck about, that we invest our fucking emotion, attention, affection to. I miss that shit. When they came out, we had fucking goosebumps and we are captivated from the moment they exited that curtain. I miss that shit, man. Now we're in the fucking, we live in the moment of first evers and just throwing shit out there. Even if it's half-ass. So, I'm sure there's other things to fucking talk about, guys, but I went way over probably my half an hour-ish, give or take, that I originally fucking stated. That all I had time for, so I'm already running late. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Much love. I'll see you guys next week, obviously, as we set up Monday Night Raw's go-home show to TLC. So this should be, I don't even know what to expect. I'm going to have no expectations, man. That's the only way I can go into these Monday Night Raws. They just keep sinking further and further. We'll all wait and see what the fuck they actually produce next week. But I'll catch you guys early next week. Maybe I'll have a video before Monday Night Raw too. Maybe a preview video or something like that. For now, much love and respect. The Amplified Man, your boy is out. Check you.